Hi, I'm Christina Rath here for Neon Tommy at the Grove for the premiere of Rachel Bilson's new film, Waiting for Forever, which comes just in time for Valentine's Day.
Well, the character, has had to sort of stifle a lot. She's trying to say the right thing to her daughter and be the right kind of a mother to a husband who's ill. And I think it just sort of backs up, and the emotion just sort of strangles her. And when he sort of says something abusive, that the last straw, she just lets it fly. So it's not hard when you're in the moment and you've got great actors that you're working, giving you all sorts of good stuff.
And then do you think that she seems so into her daughter's relationship with Aaron, and she really wants it to work out, and she wants her to be settled?
Yes.
Is that partially because he's husband's sick?
I didn't even go into that area. I think she's just sort of overcome the fact that he's a celebrity, and she's sort of titillated by that. But that's a good point. I should have thought about that while I was preparing.
Yeah, and how was Rachel to work with? Is she as adorable as
lovely,
she seems?
Absolutely lovely, yeah. So open-hearted and really easy to work with. Wonderful.
So you play alongside Nikki Blonsky in this
That's
film.
right, yeah.
How is she to work with? She seems like so much fun.
She's a dream. I mean, it's amazing. She's so young and so talented. It makes me feel ridiculous. It's like I should have started 5-7 years ago like her,
Well, you guys are the ones in the film who are you're nice to Will.
Exactly. Because we sort of know where he's coming from. We know he's got a good heart, even though what he's doing is a little weird. It's coming from a good place,
Right.
And so, yeah, exactly like you said, we're on his side, yeah.
Do you think this film is a love story? Would you classify
Absolutely,
it as one?
yeah. It definitely is. It's not a normal one, but which makes it more interesting,
And can you tell me a little bit about your show that's coming out?
Sure. Tuesdays, starting next week on Fox at 9:30. It's called Traffic Light, and it's also like a relationship. It's like a relationship comedy, and we do it single camera, so it kind of looks like Modern Family or The Office or something. And the main thing is that it's hilarious, because I know there's a lot of these shows coming out this year, but we got really lucky with the casting. We're all friends, and I think it shows.
So I have a question about your character, Jim.
Yes.
Would you call him pessimistic or practical?
I think he's more of a practical character. I think deep down he loves his brother and what he stands for, but at the same time he wants to protect him and make sure that he doesn't get hurt. So it might come off as pessimistic to others, since Tom's character is so pure and so happy, and he's sort of countering that. But I think it's all stemmed out of love.
And where do you think they veered courses in their childhood?
When their parents passed away, the brother had to take on more of a parental role, and I think there's a little bit of resentment that came with that, and that's probably the.
So instantly, Jim grew up, and Will
was forced.
Stayed
That
same age.
Will sort of chose the safer path of pretending, which, while it can create temporary happiness, it's not good for the long term. So.
Well, after seeing the film and everything put together, would you classify it as a love story?
Yes, based off of intention. Because at no point did he have malice, so there was no reason for it to be anything other than a love story. It's just a very untraditional love story, especially from the general public's point of view.
How did you play Will's character so that people ended up rooting for him? I think most people are on his side.
Really?
At least watching it. I felt that way.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can have the audience's concept of the film in your head while you're making it. So I think I just played it what I thought was the most honest way. I didn't really think about that. I think the thing about him is he's been very alone, and so he hasn't had I think a lot of the ways we grow up is our interactions and relationships with other human beings, and I think potentially the end of the film is the beginning of him having more of a world.
How was it working with Rachel? Were you familiar with her before the film?
Yeah, of course, and it was amazing. She's incredibly talented and kind and funny and brilliant person, so I'm sure you met.
But what makes this a love story? What makes this film a love story?
You know what? It's about so many different kinds of love. There's relationship love in it, but there's friendship love, which is a deep love as well. So it's nice that it sort of shows different loves in different situations. I think he's in love with the idea that she is what she represented to him as a child, you know, and whether she still is or not remains to be seen. So I think that's why at the end of the film it sort of leaves it open to interpretation, because you don't really know what's going to happen, but it's definitely a pure love nonetheless.
Is there a moment where she feels threatened by him at all, or
no? I don't think so. I think she thinks it's a little crazy, but never threatened.